Hey everybody, welcome back to today's video. My name is Schlayer, and today we are looking at the Sword and Shield, the classic tank setup. You're really going in to be a defender. That's kind of what we're going to be covering today. We're going to cover the classic tank setup and maybe some changes I decided to make to it that you may want to do yourself. The first perk we're going to look at is Shield Bash. It's a classic. Just bashing with the shield. It's super cool. You deal 50% weapon damage and it stuns the foes in front of you for 2 seconds, and it is taunt gem compatible. If you have the Carnelian gem equipped to your sword, this ability taunts for 6 seconds to all the enemies you hit. That's really, really nice to gather everybody onto you, and then you cause a lot of threat from that as well. And I believe that's the second one we go right into. Yep, there it is. Intimidating Bash. Shield Bash gains greatly increased threat and 100% more damage. There we go. So yeah, that's going to be gaining you more threat, which is great. And you get a little bit more damage out of it, which is nice. I did not go into Concussive Bash because Shield Bash stun duration is increased by a second. Like, that's pretty much useless at this point. Like, nothing I really care about, and I'd rather use that point somewhere else. Next one we'll go into is Shield Rush. You rush forward 5 meters, knocking back foes and dealing 125% weapon damage. Again, a nice one to get a little bit of damage in, but it's a pretty much just closing the gap on that with the rush forward, which is nice. Going into that is Improved Rush. On successful hit, all enemies within 5 meters will gain 10% weaken for 4 seconds, which is pretty cool. And weaken, of course, reduces the damage. And then lastly, we have Intimidating Rush. On successful hit, all enemies within 5 meters are slowed for 35 seconds for 4 whole seconds. So pretty good. That one's a lot better than just the 1 second. And lastly, we'll look at Final Stand. For 8 seconds, all incoming damage is reduced by 30%. Again, it's another taunt gem compatible one, but that won't really matter since we have one as over here as well. This one's really cool. You like slam your shield together and you're just like super stoked to take all the damage. Final Countdown. If your health is above 50%, Final Stand damage reduction is increased by 20%, which is pretty cool. And then lastly is Restoration. You gain 15% of your max health when Final Stand ends. Like, that's really, really good. Again, you'll be pairing this into Constitution. Like, you're gonna not max into primary stats over here with Strength and Dexterity. You'd be doing full Constitution into this. It's pretty nice. And now we'll look into some of the passives here. First, we'll do Sturdy Shield. It gains an additional 15% physical armor, which is always needed. Sturdy Grip. Stamina damage is reduced by 15% when blocking a melee attack with the shield, which is the majority of the stuff you'll be coming across, which is nice. Defensive Training. When you block an attack, you gain 10% Fortify for 5 seconds, so that's really, really good. I do think reducing damage from magic is needed by 10%. That's going to be really good. One with the shield is when you block with the shield, all shield cooldowns are reduced by 1 second. Next would be Fortitude. While holding a sword, current and max health are increased by 10%. Super good. And then lastly, Recuperation is all incoming healing and regeneration is increased by 10%. So that's super cool as well. This is definitely a focused tank route. Like I showed before in like my Warhammer and Great Axe videos, you can definitely play tanks with those. Those are actually would be pretty fun tanks as well. Especially since you have the ability to gather a lot of enemies and do a lot more of that damage. And let's say you may not have a person to truly be a tank that's actually taking up all the focus, and you can still do it on those accounts too. So it's kind of cool. But you can definitely see why this one is a true Constitution focused tank. And then the last few passives I decided to use were in Swordmaster, and for good reasoning. Mainly for this one right here, mobility. You can move 33% faster while blocking. I think that's something that's kind of slept on, and it's actually very useful, I think. I think people will definitely want that, so I definitely consider doing that. And then, of course, you're going to need 2 up here at the top. You don't really have much options, so I decided to choose, you can start out with Successful Heavy Attacks. You have 30% empower for 5 seconds when you use heavy attacks. Otherwise, you can choose the final attack in your light attack chain causes a 20% slow for 2 seconds. I felt like this one was more, there's more value. And then the next one, it kind of pairs directly into this, is Successful Attacks for heavy attacks causes you to lose all debuffs. Like, that's also a slept on one as well. And with that said, that is the Sword and Shield. Very simple tank build, definitely an awesome build to play. Full Constitution on your primary stats for attributes. go full constitution there and use slotted gems to get strength experience to get a little more DPS. If you like today's video, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. We're going to have a lot more coming up here. See you around and have a good one. Peace. So here is a hotspot right in front of us. It is currently inactive. Otherwise, we would be seeing it activated with fish jumping out of it. Oh, right there. There's some fish jumping out right now. So let's re-reel. And as you see, it'll say landed on hotspot, and it's just really quick.